I've got a whole lot of cocaine just running around my brain. I've got cocaine, 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 cocaine. There you go. Now, how do you wade through the dense imagery of that to give it some meaning? Um, hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Audiophiles. My name's John. His name is Andy.
Mhm.
No blind spots in the leopard's eyes can only help to jeopardize the lives of lambs. The shepherd cries. More on that later. But first, because it is Friday, yes, it is. Special day Friday, always special. Aside from your fish and chips and your crunchies, we have a tune which has been suggested by one of our wonderful viewers. Um, in this instance, it is Jizo. Oh, and they have dropped a comment on the episode White Man brackets in House of Ballet by The Clash, bits of which are depicted here. And they suggested a track by Dillinger, Cocaine in My Brain. We've flipped the coin, spun the bottle, and opened up the goat's entrails and decided that Andy's going to listen to this one.
Yeah, no idea. It's hard to extrapolate even an idea of what the genre might be. So, I'll go off, give this thing a listen, and come back and let you all know what I think of Cocaine in My Brain by Dillinger.
Hey Jim,
Hey,
Jim, just a minute, y'all. I want you to spell for me something. I want you to spell for me New York, man. Why do you have to spell New York, man? I just want you to spell for me New York. Can you do that, man? Sure, man, I can spell New York. Well, go ahead, man.
okay, it's musically, it's beautiful. It's comforting. It sounds like all the reggae that I enjoyed listening to in the past. Quintessential sound to it. And his voice sounds great. It's perfect for reggae, but what is he talking about? Hey Jim, spell New York for me. Didn't have that. I would never have guessed that those would have been the lyrics to any reggae song. So yeah, interesting stuff. Love the music so far. I'm finding the lyrics ponderous to say the least. So let's just pull this back, and I'm gonna try. It's really hard to enjoy and listen to the things in the music that you like while also being distracted by this spelling bee that's going on.
I want you to spell for me something. I want you to spell for me New York, man. Why do you have to spell New York, man? I just want you to spell for me New York. Can you do that, man?
That guitar.
Sure, man, I can spell New York. Well, go ahead, man.
Oh, it bites.
N-E-W-Y-O-R-K, that's New York, man. No, man, you made a mistake, man. I'm gonna teach you the right way and the proper way to spell New York,
Little
man.
keys.
Well, go ahead, man. A knife, a fork, a buckle, and a cork. That's the way we spell New York, man. You see, no matter where I treat my guests, they always like my kitchen best. Cause I cocaine running around my brain. A cocaine running around my brain.
I bet you do.
I want you to dig me, soul brothers and soul sisters. I want you to hold me tight because I'm out of sight and I'm a dynamite. I've got cocaine running around my brain. I've got cocaine running around my brain. Man, oh man, I've got to be on the run because I've got to meet the setting sun. I've got a whole lot of cocaine just running around my brain. I've got cocaine. Hey Jim, just a minute, y'all. I want you to spell
Okay, so not a lot has changed as far as how I'm receiving the song. The music is great. Makes you want to move. It's got this kind of cool, just kind of laissez-faire, laid-back kind of sound to it. These biting chops at the guitar with a little bit of that wah effect on them. Lovely little, like every so often, these little, they'll add these injections of key flourishes that come interesting seemingly just through the speaker. The bass is great. The splashy cymbal work while also at times kind of just focusing on that hi-hat driven motif. All sounds fabulous. Pooh, the lyrics. I mean, the only part that makes a lot of sense is that this guy has done quite a bit of cocaine. Because everything is just random verbal diarrhea about the spelling of New York or what goes down in his kitchen. Yeah, interesting stuff. Musically loving this, though.
Right on, right on, right on. Whenever time I walk in the rain, man oh man, it make me feel a burning pain keep on burning in my bloody brain. I've got cocaine running around my brain. I've got cocaine running around my brain. No matter where I treat my guests, they always like my kitchen bed.
Oh, the
Because I've got a
splashes.
whole lot of cocaine just running around my brain. And I ain't for fuck about and cock. That's the way we spell New York. And I ain't for fuck about and cock. That's the way we spell New York. Right on, right on, right on, right on. I've got cocaine, 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 cocaine running around my brain. I want you to dig me, soul brothers and soul sisters. I want you to hold me tight, cause I'm out of sight and I'm down on mine. I've got cocaine running around my brain. I've got cocaine running around my brain. I've got cocaine running around my brain. Hey Jim, Jim, just a minute, just a minute, just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. Cocaine, Lord, it's cocaine. Yeah, it's cocaine. Everyone cocaine. Lord, everyone cocaine. It's cocaine, and it's cocaine. And running around my brain, running around my brain.
Like this.
Cocaine, cocaine, cocaine. Yeah. Man, oh man, I've got to be on the run because I've got to meet that setting sun. And I've got a whole lot of cocaine that's running around my brain. I've got cocaine, 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 cocaine.
Nice little guitar noodling there. All right, yeah. No, I mean, the music was fucking fabulous. I loved it. It felt like they were like flirting with some tempo stuff there in like or in and around the 4 minute mark. I also really loved that. I mean, I wish that ending was extended more. That sort of fade out to let the guitar do a little bit more of that noodling. That sounded really lovely as well. It was a groove rider. I mean, there wasn't a lot of like moving pieces as far as like parts to the song. There were just two major parts to it, but all of it sounded really great. I loved the way they would just like flirt with those keys. A lot of the drum work was really subtle but great. It wasn't super tom driven, but when the toms made an appearance, they really, really stood out, and I liked that a lot. And obviously, as I mentioned earlier, the splashing of some of the cymbals and the hi hat work was really great too. So they utilized the metallics in the drums really well. The bass was consistent, moving throughout the whole song. This was super enjoyable and sounded like I said, the quintessential like rock reggae sound to it. It was lovely. The the lyric, "There's cocaine in my brain," that's got to be some of the most honest bit of lyricism I've ever heard, because god damn, I couldn't make sense of much anything else he was saying in the song. So I don't know, outside of it just being like a cocaine anthem about being, higher than a giraffe's ass, I don't really know what else it could be about. So I'm just going to completely kind of discount the lyrics in this unless John bowls me over with some like factoid that, you know, blows my mind. But I don't think he will. I think this one's pretty cut and dry. But cut and dry. That's apropos, I suppose. But yeah, this was great. Musically speaking, I really enjoyed it. Killer groove, got this kind of laid back feel to it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Great shout. I don't know much about Dillinger. I don't know anything, if I'm being completely honest. I know more about cocaine than I do Dillinger. So yeah, let's get back to John and see what he has to say about this tune and the artist.
Shits and giggles, he's back. So you've had to listen to "Cocaine in My Brain" by Dillinger.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that never a truer word was spoken than the title of this track, because the guy singing it definitely sounded like he had some cocaine on his brain. This thing was, from a lyrical standpoint, all over the goddamn map. But, and more redeemingly, the music was lovely. I mean, it kicks off with this like lovely splash of the cymbal, and that ushers in this unmistakable dulcet tone of reggae music, all laid back and chill. The guitar has this almost sharp yet clean tone to it that kind of bites through the soundscape with each strum, almost like a chop strum. And there are some lovely little touches of the keys throughout the verse as well. And in general, throughout the song, they use kind of judiciously, and it always comes in this one can. And I found that to be so like earwormy. Every time it came around, that kind of caught my attention. The bass work underneath all of this is really great as well. It almost has this kind of quasi melodic tone to it when you consider the rest of the music in the track. And then the singer begins to deliver the first verse. And these lyrics seem to be an interesting bit of dialogue about New York between, I think, the narrator and a Jim, who's often referenced. Sometimes his name is shouted. And they're talking about the spelling of New York, which I don't, I just don't get it. But then it somehow takes a left turn into talking about a kitchen. So lyrically, I'm completely lost here at this point. The verse is followed by the first chorus, in which the titular line is off repeated, along with the declaration by the narrator that he sees himself as out of sight or dynamite. And if he does in fact have cocaine in his brain, that might shed light on the scatterbrained feeling I got from the first verse. And pretty much all the lyrics in the song by the time we get to the end. The next verse again touches on New York and its spelling. He argues that a knife, a fork, a bottle, and a cork, that's the way we spell New York. I don't think that's the way you spell it. Which again is above my pay grade when it comes to understanding, but hey, the music is perfectly groovy and danceable. So why get caught up in the messaging? It's all about the music with this one. So this bit's followed by a short stanza of lyrics where the narrator laments the brain-burning effect of walking in the rain. And then I think that's what he says. And we get to the next verse. It's at this point I've given up on understanding any of the narrative here. I have no idea what the lyrics are serving. But all I know is that this guy seems to be higher than a giraffe's ass. A little later in the song, he does call out for Jim again, and during this portion, there's some great scratchy wah guitar bits that shoot through the soundscape, and some really nice percussion that's driven by the hi-hat. Throughout, though, there are these interesting splashes that the drummer deploys on his drums, and also at one point, this rare point because of how metallic driven his percussions are between the hi-hat and the splash work. He does this little drum roll on the toms that sounds really, really lovely. Um, Also, I think around the 4 minute mark, they kind of play with the tempo a little bit, where it feels like it's about to rev up but never fully does. It just kicks up a little bit, and I thought that was really cool. Effect that they played with almost the timing or the beat of the song, and I really enjoyed it as well. The song then kind of fades out with this nice bit of lead guitar notation. So yeah, musically this was great. It had that quintessential reggae syncopation to it that makes you want to move. So it checked all the musical boxes for me when it came like listening to this kind of genre. But the lyrics, made about as much sense as someone who just snorted a gram of the China White. So I don't really understand what it's about. I'm interested in what he was trying to convey, or if this was just, the verbal diarrhea of someone who had a little too much, fun in the snow. Regardless, music was cool. Checked all those great reggae boxes for me. So yeah, I enjoyed giving this thing a listen. But please tell me more about Dillinger. I don't know if it's the guy that was in the thumbnail or if like it's a whole band, and about this song, and please tell me you have some idea of what these lyrics are about.
All will be revealed in the fullness of time. Yeah, my two penneth worth is I have heard this before, vaguely remember it. I think it's a bit of fun. It's all right. It's not like a go-to song for me, but I thoroughly enjoy it when it does come on. And he is full of charisma, which is quite funny. So, Dillinger is the man,
Okay.
one person. So, Lester Randall Bullock, born in 1953, is better known by the stage name Dillinger. He is a Jamaican reggae musician, and he was part of the second wave of DJ toasters that rose to prominence during the mid-70s. So he was born in Kingston, Jamaica, and as a young man, Dillinger would hang around, or Lester would hang around Dennis Al Capone's El Paso sound system, and that was one of the most infamous ones in Jamaica around then. They were really seen as part of the community, these sound systems, and it doesn't refer to just the equipment, but the people within that turn up to all these events and have the fucking huge speakers and all that sort of shit. And it's kind of how Massive Attack started as well. But anyway, years later. So this exposure of him knocking around with Dennis Al Capone was pretty famous for his sound system. Would eventually lead to work in 1971 as a DJ on the Prince Jackie and El Paso sound systems. So just to clarify, I'm sure a lot of people know this, but just in case, toasting or DJing is the act of talking, usually in a monotone melody over a rhythm or beat by a DJ, either improvised or pre-written. Toasting developed in Jamaica and became part of the sound system era. A similar sound of it is found in mento. I've not heard of this before, and that is a Jamaican folk music that predated, but greatly influenced ska and then reggae, and can now be heard over musical styles, toasting, including ska, reggae, dancehall, dub, grime, hip hop, soca, and bouillon music, which I think is Dominican. The combination of singing and toasting together is known as sing-jaying, I like. So anyway, back to Dillinger. So the first record producer that he worked with was the legendary Lee Scratch Perry, who we've mentioned before on this channel, who decided that Bullock should change his name to Dillinger, obviously after the gangster John Dillinger. Yeah, and of course, Tina Turner, I think, had a very similar conversation because she was Annie Mae Bullock or something, wasn't she? Anyway, but something like that. So in 1974, he recorded Freshly. These are great titles, which brought him his first hit. And in 75, he saw a slew of releases with a variety of producers, um, with songs like Brace a Boy, uh, CB 200 with Joseph Hu Kim, producer, and Flatfoot Hustling, Winston Holness, and Kilimanjaro with Coxsone Dodd. He then put out albums Ready Natty Dreddy and CB 200. From that second album, CB 200, came his hit. And when I say his hit, you know that he didn't have any others. Cocaine in My Brain, which was produced by Who Kim. And it used samples from Do It Any Way You Wanna by People's Choice and Hijack by Enoch Light. So that was pretty much the music he heard. The track was hugely popular internationally, and it was a #1 hit in the Netherlands, #2 in Belgium, and number 35 in Germany.
Well, then.
Well, you know. So, lyrics, and they are quite funny. So, start off, and obviously the first bit is a conversation in his head, Jim. And he does both sides of the conversation, which is handy. Hey, Jim, just a minute, yeah. I want you to spell for me something. I want you to spell for me New York, man. Why do you want me to spell New York, man? I just want you to spell for me New York. Can you do that, man? Sure, man, I can spell New York. Well, go ahead, man. Newyyork. That's New York, man. No, man, you made a mistake, man. I'm going to teach you the right way and the proper way to spell New York, man. Well, go ahead, man. Knife, a fork, a bottle, and a cork. That's the way we spell New York, man. You see, no matter where I treat my guest, they always like my kitchen best. Because I've got cocaine running around my brain, I want to dig me soul brothers and soul sisters, and I want you to hold me tight because I'm out of sight and I'm dynamite. I've got cocaine running around in my brain. Man, oh man, I've got to be on the run because I've got to meet the setting sun. I got a whole lot of cocaine just running around my brain. I got cocaine. Hey, Jim, just a minute, yeah. I want you to spell something for me, Jim. You see where this is going. I want you to spell for me New York. A knife, a fork, a bottle, and a cork. That's the way we spell New York. A knife, fork, a bottle, and a cork. That's the way we spell New York. Right on, huh? Right on. Right on, huh? Right on. Whenever time I walk in the rain, man, oh man, it makes me feel a burning pain. Keep on burning in my bloody brain. I've got cocaine running around my brain. No matter where I treat my guests, they always like my kitchen best. Because I've got a whole lot of cocaine just running around my brain. A knife, a fork, a bottle, and a cork. That's the way it's spelled New York. A knife, a fork, a bottle, and a cork. That's the way it's spelled New York. Right on. I've got cocaine running around my brain. I want loads more. I want you to dig me, soul brothers and sisters. I want you to hold tight because I'm out of sight and dynamite. I've got cocaine running around my brain 3 more times. Hey, Jim, just a minute. Cocaine Lord, it's cocaine. Yes, it's cocaine. I want cocaine. Lord, I want cocaine. Huh? That's cocaine running around my brain. Cocaine. Yeah. Man, oh man, I've got to be on the run because I've got to meet that setting sun. I've got a whole lot of cocaine just running around my brain. I've got cocaine. There you go. Now, how do you wade through the dense imagery of that to get some meaning? So, just a couple of notes on things that you may have escaped you. So, this a knife, a fork, a bottle, and cork, and all that sort of stuff. This is a rhyme which predates Dillinger's song by at least 82 years. Its origin is in a children's rhyme from New York, collected in their Counting Out Rhymes for Children by Henry C. Bolton in 1888. The meaning might be that hospitality is the core of the New York spirit.
Yeah. No, I don't want to sound. I had no idea about that. But then, as you were singing the lyrics, there was this idea that like wherever there's food and drink and merriment, then that's where you are and that's where you belong.
Yeah.
That's what sort of the only thing I could make sense of it. But still, that married with the idea that he can't stop thinking about blow is a weird.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you?
So also the line about they always like my kitchen best. No matter where I treat my guests, they always like my kitchen best. The idea is they'll be in fairly small apartments, and the kitchen is a place that's got probably the biggest, flattest surface
Yeah,
to them. So that's the
yeah.
idea behind that, perhaps. And the rest was just nonsense. But there you go.
Oh, that's
So,
right.
just to say, Dillinger spent a lot of time in England during the heyday of punk rock. And in 1978, along with Leroy Smart and Delroy Wilson, was referenced by lyricist Joe Strummer in the Clash track White Man in Hammersmith Palais, which we listened to. So Midnight to Six Man for the first time from Jamaica. Dillinger and Leroy Smart, Delroy Wilson, your cool operator. So that's the opening of the song,
Gotcha.
which references this gig, which has got the flyer here on my t-shirt. So that's why, he referenced it there. So anyway, Dillinger carried on. His third album, called Clash, sold poorly, as did the next album, Bionic Dread. He tried to recapture the success of cocaine in 1979 with a similarly themed marijuana in my brain.
You went back to the well, huh?
We did. The single and an album the same name were moderately successful and prompted A&M Records to sign him. Dillinger's deal with A&M resulted in the 1980 album Badder Than Them, but after failing to sell well, he was dropped by the label. Yeah. So his recorded output sort of dropped in the second half of the 80s, although he did start producing other artists. He returned to recording more regularly in the early 90s, but didn't manage to repeat that earlier success. He did go on to start his own Scandal Bag record label, which is cool. And he has continued to sporadically record and still perform into the 21st century. And the only things I've got here is he toured internationally with Trinity and Ranking Joe in 2000 and with the Yellow Man in 2014.
Oh, wow.
And that's all the latest reports I have of his activities. He's an old man now, I should imagine. Yeah. But, he had his moments in the sun and a lot of fun. It sounds like it was. And, perhaps that paid for a bit of what he likes, Good luck to him. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, in the 70s, especially, this sort of thing would have been sort of, wow, this is awesome,
Yeah.
Because it was just coming across the reggae. And then obviously the toasting is, in particular, the live toasting they used to do, in particular, is the complete forerunner of obviously rap and hip hop, as we know, which is one of the most predominant genres on the planet. So, it is important, all this heritage. So, yeah, it's good fun. So, this is a lot of fun as well,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, musically, I enjoyed every bit of it. It was just, it was really hard for me to connect the dots lyrically, although I did find myself at least finding them humorous.
Yes.
But yeah. It was a good listen. I enjoyed it for sure, and it was cool to get it to bring it back to the Clash too, since that's where it was. Because listening to it, I'm thinking like I know the Clash. We talked about the reggae adjacent connections with the Clash.
Yeah.
But to hear this, it all makes sense. It kind of all helps illustrate that. So
yeah, definitely.
Circle.
Cool. Well, thanks, Gizo, for suggesting this. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'll wrap things up, folks out there. Tell us what you think. If you like this, hit the like button if you can find it. Best of luck. Best of luck. But please drop some comments and let us know what you think. If you enjoyed this as much as we did, we'd love to hear from you. Also, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. We do appreciate everybody who does support the channel. We're climbing up steadily, bit by bit, day by day, getting bigger in every way. And also, if you're thinking, hey, he's done one of these tunes, and I'll get my song on there. Well, for a start, drop that accent. It ain't going to work with me.
Yeah.
But just any episode at all, drop a comment just saying, I'd like you to listen to this. We'll add to the list. We will get through the list one of these days. So, yeah, do not hold your breath once you've posted it, waiting for us. But we will get to it eventually.
Not be responsible.
That being said, thanks again so much for watching. And we'll see all of you in the next episode of The Audiophiles.
See you later, guys.